guys, I'm joined here with Zell Railey. We're in the beer garden at Slurry Brewery. This is such a fun place.
Perfect day for it too.
Oh, I love hanging out here. And I love even more doing these veteran segments and getting to learn more about these awesome men and women. And today we get the opportunity to learn all about you, Zell. I'm very excited about it. Can you give us a little background first off on you? Just tell me who you are.
Sure. Yeah. So I actually grew up in DC, if you can believe that or not. My dad worked for the government, so that's how we wound up there. But family's from here, so wound up going to school in T-Town, Roll Tide.
All right. Okay,
so,
Roll Tide.
And then after that, I come from a military family. My dad was in, my grandparents were in, cousins, stuff. Just it's part of the culture of the family. So I knew at some point I was going to join. Didn't really know what that looked like. But after college, joined the Army, and of course we all know what was going on at that time.
Right.
So I spent 6.5 years in the Army. I went to Afghanistan and Iraq a couple of times.
Wow.
And decided, well, you know, I've had enough of this.
Yeah.
And so got out and have been doing the civilian thing for a couple of years now.
So thank you for your service, number one, and number two. So joining the Army, but you said it was it was ingrained in you a little bit, but was it a little bit of a culture shock, or did it just kind of seem natural?
For me, it was natural. There wasn't really a culture shock. There is for a lot of people. You hear people going in, they're like, oh my God, what have I done?
Right.
I guess the stories from the grandparents and dads, I kind of knew what I was getting into, sort of.
Yeah.
You never really know. So it wasn't really that much of a shock for me.
Yeah. So what do you do now that you're just regular old civilian?
Well, as I like to say, I put people in debt for 30 years at a time.
Oh, Zell.
I'm a loan officer, so I help people buy houses.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's what I do now. And I focus on what's called the VA loan, Veterans Administration. It's a loan only for veterans. So it's one way that I give back to the veteran community. Veterans are actually the number one, shall we say, picked on demographic when it comes to buying a house, which is unfortunate. There's a lot of misinformation. There's just a lot of people that take advantage of veterans because they can.
Yeah.
So I try and shield the veterans from that when they're going through the home buying process.
Wow.
It can be a stressful process to begin with. There's no reason to add stress to it if the person you're working with is, you know, unscrupulous or trying to take advantage of you more than they should. So.
Gosh, what a great way to incorporate your past life and experiences into something that would seem totally opposite, right? But you found a way to kind of mesh the two.
The veteran community is a small community.
Yeah.
And we say if we don't look out for ourselves, who else is?
Yeah.
So, you know, we look out for each other as much as we can, and this is just one way that I do that.
You know, another way that you serve is through the VFW. Now, for anybody that's unaware, explain to us what the VFW is.
So the VFW, it's the Veterans of Foreign Wars. We are a congressionally chartered fraternal organization, been around since 1899. It was started by veterans of the Spanish-American War and the Philippine War. They came home and there was no help.
Yeah.
For you know, no help for them. No one was reaching out, trying to reintegrate them into society. You had a lot of wounded guys coming back, and there was no VA at the time. There was no hospital care, and they were just thrown out on the streets.
Right.
So they started this organization to, again, veterans helping veterans, taking care of our own. And that's what we're still doing today. The main goal is basically to help veterans in need. That's why we exist. We'll have people call or email and say, hey, I need help with this. Can you help? From financial aid to, you know, helping pay bills, stuff like that, to food.
Yeah.
And so that's why we exist. That's our main goal. We have ancillary things that we do, but the main goal of Veterans of Foreign Wars is to help veterans in need.
So you are in charge of our Alabaster post, correct?
Yes, correct.
So tell me about when you guys meet and how that goes.
So we have one meeting a month. It's the first Saturday of the month at 9 a.m. and it's a business meeting, is what that is. And like I tell everyone who shows up, I thank them for showing up to a business meeting because they're boring. But it's what we do to set our schedule for the next month, the next 3 months, what we're going to be doing to help veterans. We do a lot of cookouts to fundraise. So the business meeting is that, setting the schedule for the next month or so that we're focused and organized and we know what we're going to be doing. But we do a lot of cookouts. So feel free to come out to our next one. Hamburgers, hot dogs. We did bratwurst for Oktoberfest this past month. But then we do recruiting drives. A lot of recruiting drives, and the cookouts are what we do the most of. But then, like I said, we have people that reach out to us on a weekly basis for help, and that's why we exist. We do the fundraisers to put those donations into our relief account to give out to veterans in need. So it all comes back to, it's a business in a way.
Right.
And we run the business so that we're better able to help veterans.
So if someone's out there, they're watching us, they're listening, and they're like, hey, I want to get involved in that, or hey, I could benefit from some assistance here. I need a little bit of help. Whether it's just I need to connect with other people like myself, right? Tell them how they can get involved. So
the best way is you can give me a call. Phone number is 205-777-1903. Call or text. You can also reach out via email. It's going to be VFW Alabaster, spell that out, cdr@gmail.com.
Okay.
So
that's pretty easy. Do you guys have any social media presence that people can
We do.
find out
We are on Facebook.
Okay.
Trying to get that up and going more.
Yeah.
And if you just Google VFW Post 12185, which is our post number, you'll find us.
Perfect. So that way we can keep up with what's going on, the fundraising activities, and what a blessing you are, I'm sure, in the life of so many here. I'm sure it's just such a brother and sisterhood that you guys have, right?
It really is. It really is. And that's one of the other main reasons we exist, as well as helping people, is the camaraderie. That you hear a lot of veterans say that's what they miss about the military, is the camaraderie. You get out and you're just thrown out into the world and you lose that. So that's something that we also do, as well as helping veterans in need, is providing community.
Yeah.
You know, we got guys in here from Korea, from Vietnam, Desert Storm, of course, the most recent conflicts.
Yeah.
And we're all the same.
And how cool that you can learn from each other in those different walks of life and different experiences, but all have that same commonality, right?
It really is one big happy family.
That's awesome. Zell, thank you so much for this information. Like, what a delight to talk to you. And guys, if you need more information, check out the VFW. Come here to Slurry. I'm sure you guys hang out here quite a bit. I mean,
yes.
What a great place.
You come in any given night and you'll find 3 or 4 of us here.
Exactly. All right. Well, thanks so much, Zell.
Thank you.